Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. The first map, the first game of the night is upon us. It's Pineapple Phillips and Boggs to bless you with the action. And it is Nouns to start with the CT side. There is a knife round to decide who starts where. I'm assuming Nouns won because they're on the CT side, but who knows? M80, no nonsense, straight out A is the game plan. Swisher with one. Junior and George, though, combined for a pair. It's chaos and pandemonium, and it ends at even footing. 2 versus 2. Bomb yet to hit dirt, but still anybody's round. MarKE and Junior both approaching from disparate angles. One smoked off Con, one towards CT spawn, and Mobs tenuously negotiating control of the window. This is a power position. Stamina steps are heard, but is Mobs known to be here? Doesn't seem like it. MarKE drops stamina, but if there's a man you want in the clutch, it's Mobs, the man we highlighted, the individual that can raise the team from the brink of disaster. He knows, he calls it out as a fake on the first tap. MarKE knows the position is likely, and Mobs, despite the close range, despite the Glock in hand, cannot hit the headshot. Defuse comes through, and Nouns emerge victorious in the pistol.
It was a good double from Junior. That one extra from George makes it a lot easier for Nouns to win the round. And then MarKE comes up connector and seals the deal for Nouns. The bomb going down, though, for M80 facilitates their full force buy in this round. Galil's, AKs, Swisher on a dig. Utility's going to be light. At least Reck has a molly, double flash, and smoke. Nouns, though, should be ready for the full investment from M80. They should know that M80 love to do this, especially with bomb plant and 3 kills. So they only have 2 rifles to contest with, though, Nate. No defuse kit. Everyone has a helmet. And it doesn't matter when you can get 2 entries like that. Carson tries to charge up mid. Junior will have to finish the job as it's 3 kills for 1 for Nouns. The smoke goes again, leaving Reck out in the open. And M80 tried to go for a mid explosion, but CJ reigns king of mid. Junior helps out as well. And it's Nouns with an emphatic second round victory. And that is an early statement of intent from the CT side, as now they have a prime opportunity to get themselves a 3-0 start and build up that money, winning it in flawless fashion in the last round. M4 now picked up for CJ, or for Carson too, getting rid of that MP9, and that one, a bit of a blunder from M80, but the read from Nouns on it, I think, is really what needs to be mentioned there. Is just a hard counter from Nouns, who expected that play.
The duo of a pair of rifles in long range. That one player did fall, but of course that upgraded M4 should give them some extra firepower, as you mentioned. As good a round as could be asked for Nouns, given the force buy. And now, again, calculated positioning. Carson here to support pressuring underpass. He knows there's one in the apartments, maybe 2. Issue is the bomb dropped very far away. Stamina going to retrieve it, caught with knife in hand. Not expecting this kind of blind side. Swisher and Sandwich should be expected. George, though, needs to be careful. He's caught by Swisher swinging with the deagle. Can't get the second, can't get the follow-up. Player Palace drops towards triple. Again, lots of control taken towards either site. The issue is the bomb's not there. It's finally making its way towards A. Reck has lost his teammates in the meanwhile. 1v3. Big in hand. A lot to do if he wants to get a bomb plant. He could somehow make the crossing. He might have enough time to do so, but the crossing's not going to be given up. CJ and his teammate both in window, holding for this cross. Should be no chance for Reck, and there isn't. It's shut in his face. A 3-0 start for Nouns, keeping all 3 rifles in hand. Again, a solid start for the CT side.
Here comes the AKs for M80. No op in their favor. They won't be able to afford that, nor have they met it from Nouns until now. Junior, after his success with the rifle, goes for the big green gun. Kits are starting to populate the Nouns belts as well. Plenty of utility, a decent amount of spare change across the roster too. CT side with as good of an early start as you could ask for. And M80 going for their default A setup. It's not Mobs who's lurking out middle this time. It was Def, but he is forced away with some utility. And Carson is taking initiative on this aggression around that smoke towards top middle. I like that support from CJ too, the way they're really taking the mid control. Good counter Molotov for a ramp rush as well from the 3 players all along that connector jungle side. Junior has the op. The nade does so much damage to the 4 players stuck out towards ramp for M80. Another nade chucked on site. Doesn't do anything, but MarKE will pick up the first. CJ, however, sprays back through the smoke and counters to bring it to a 4v4. Bomb goes down, but Nouns are in a great spot for a retake, and Carson all the way towards the bottom of ramp because he continued his casual stroll up through the back lines.
All these players are tagged as well with that nade, as you mentioned earlier in the round. Carson, the round is in his hands at this point. The player underneath balcony is uncomfortable. First is found Stamina, though, immediately traded from under balcony. This player connector has to do it all. It's Swisher. Good position, lines up a pair, and that does turn the round on its head. At least Carson now suddenly on the back foot. 1v2, no time, and a player in Palace and towards bottom stairs. No possible victory for Carson in this round, and reck seems rather keen on either shutting him down or trying to survive in the back halls. And nade almost does reck in. Carson will stay alive. He will get that kill to strain the T-side economy as much as possible, but M80 pick up the op and pick up their first round.
They pick up the round, but it's a bit of a blunder from Nouns. They don't clear Swisher out of connector, and he's going to mop up those 2 frags nice and easy. This will force Nouns to the bottom of their barrel economically. They're scraping through the couch cushions for change. Same could be said for M80, though, but Stamina has that op now in hand. We'll see how he can counter Junior. Bulbs and Stamina going to burn a little bit in the Molotov as they try to get the cross over towards stairs, but Junior's going to go up middle instead this time. He does have a little bit of support as well. Def spotted. Bulbs, however, delivers the opening. That's a good self-flash as well. Junior's not going to go too far there. What a shot from Carson, just on the strafe. And he'll add another one on to Bulbs, this time looking for more. As MarKE gets tested out towards Van, Swisher domes him. And now it's a 3v3 situation, but health does favor Nouns. Swisher almost gets tagged by the frag as well. It's CJ's time in the sun as he might just get tested here, but M80 think better of it instead. Audible this call into middle, which might just play into the hands of Nouns, which are rotating back in. Junior towards window, Carson in towards Con. This looks to be a hard counter for an underpass play from M80. Nouns are reading this game incredibly well, but they looked the wrong way. Carson's expecting top mid, and now the way is open to success here. Unless Junior has something to say about it. CJ up, Cat as well. That's a nice little strike on the def with the bomb drop too. Stamina has the op, and the analyst has to clutch up.
Smoked the bomb, got that, passing the first hurdle. Well done. Get the plant down behind triple. Safe plant. The op of Junior, those are already up top stairs. Spotted, sure, but now the players have combined. It's going to make this near impossible on the clutch. CJ cements the round for Nouns. It's rather expensive with 3 players falling. They do isolate that round victory for M80. Keep their op up. And CJ can probably find an AK upgrade as well, or a double op setup if he's so inclined.
I don't think Nouns will go double op.
Nope.
They don't really have somebody else who's keen to take up that secondary op position. Also, I wouldn't say they necessarily need it. Their rifles have been very potent. Junior's only had 1 kill since he swapped off of the A1S. And right now, especially with M80 on a broken buy, now is not the time to go in for a double op setup. MarKE, reading the situation, goes for the MP9. There's only 1 helm across the T-side board. That rests on Stamina. The Galil for Def is the most firepower they have. Stamina has a P250. The nade will do a little bit of chip damage, only onto Bulbs, but that enables MarKE to get a bit of an easier kill. Bulbs funneling out, just runs down MarKE. CJ's far too removed in MarKE to support at all. Does get 1 for free, tries to get more. They're not going to peek him as that bomb ticks away. It's down on the tile. M80 with close range guns and a post plant, very dangerous in this type of situation. Unless they die to plays like that, the nade from CJ, and now over peaking, leading to potential destruction. In come the retake, but Stamina and Def, coach and analyst, bring it to a 2v2, a dink, but not the kill on George.
Awkward spot for the coach. Behind the pillar on site. Time, though, beginning to become an ally. Is it an ally? I don't think so. George gets the kill and the defuse thanks to the kit. A 5th on the board. Another expensive one, though. M80 on the back of that compromised investment. You mentioned just one Galil is the only primary in hand, are able to get a bomb plant and also able to get a fair few number of frags as well. That keeps this CT economy honest. It keeps MarKE on an MP9, which is very important if they want to continue exploiting that B bomb site. M80. They've done well. They've gotten close, but they've not gotten across the line bar once. They need to actually get rounds on the board now. Close is not enough.
How many times did they get close against Wildcard last night? They just weren't able to get the round.
Multiple times.
And did it end up costing them on Inferno in particular?
Oh, absolutely. Inferno was, I think, only isolated rounds. I think at the end they finally strung something together, but
They only strung things together on T side, or CT, I mean.
it was like 8-4 at the half with 4 isolated rounds, and
Yep.
once they lost the pistol, it was curtains.
Pretty much. Yeah, they brought it back to 13-8, but it was a 13-8 that never looked like it could turn into something more. And it's these close but no cigar situations that M80 is being haunted by right now, and George might make it even worse as he's pushed all the way through Palace. He's got a prime chance for the backstab. It all depends on his timing with Swisher. If he lets Swisher go by, George has just made the biggest play in this round. The call has been made, the sound's been heard. Junior spotted him out. George might be a little bit late, however, so another bomb plant looks to be coming forth here for the T's.
Another bomb pump. Now they have to actually prove their worth in the post plant. They don't have a lot of delay utility left. They have one Molotov on Def. Nouns still have a smoke as well for this retake. That could be pretty important. In this flank this time, it's George, not Karsten. Starts things off right. Aggressive with the A4, the Eye of Horus. Finds one and spots the second. Stamina out. Very uncomfortable and sandwiched. The double nades tag him so low. And while he's flashed out, it won't do much. Instead, it's reck to bail them out. A double onto CJ and Junior. Stamina, assisted by the flash, finds one. The second is spotted, and while Stamina does fall, reck is the one to seal the round. A hero on site. 3 kills for him. He'll recover the op. And he recovers a second now for M80. Again, finally getting on the board.
M80 finally get on the board again. And it should not be isolated as Nouns are relegated to probably a double eek here. I don't suspect they can get a full buy the next round, but they're not going to invest here at all. Junior can get the op up. But it'll be glass cannon. First round loss, you're going to second round loss, 1900 with that kind of economy expecting a buy? That's, I don't know, that's double eco territory to me.
Could be, maybe they're going for something compromised. We've seen them go for those MP9s and actually find some decent success. So, especially with Junior on 40-50, he might actually just go for an M4 and drop a FAMAS or something similar. He hasn't done much with the op, as you've mentioned.
I like the stack call. If you have this kind of lack of firepower, you just have to make numbers your solution. And they've stacked the right side as well. Utility from M80 starting to clear out that side, but they're running dry on it. USP's moving around. Swisher with the opening, looks for more. Junior at least picking off one. Swisher and Def will get the next 2 on site, but Junior's found a pair here. And he's been a major nuisance on the site. If he can get one more, that would be absolutely massive, but he gets caught from mobs, the late man up through apartments. And so only 2 kills from the Opera of Nouns. Still not too shabby for him, and they're going to go in here. M4's utility. Junior with that op, those 2 kills giving him a lot more money. Now this looks like a much more serviceable buy. The lack of a kit could be a problem, but if you don't let the T-side plant, then you don't have to worry about it at all. One thing, too, Stamina's not been too shabby in this game so far. He hasn't been stellar, but he's gotten his kills and his moments.
He's playing this position well. He's in a lot of unenviable spots, especially in post plants. Saw him stuck at sandwich at least once, under balcony another time. He's playing the spot as needed. He's playing around his teammates. He's playing off flashes. That's all you can really ask. slotting in as well as could be asked. A lot of dueling towards middle, albeit Nouns not showing as much presence this time around. We've seen them press the issue more often than not. This time around, they're more than happy to give it away. Probably because of their compromised investment. Won't stop Nouns from getting that opening pick either. Up 5 versus 4. Get that 5 versus 3, 5 versus 2. Carson and Khan on top of the box finds 2 that go unanswered. Stamina on the op might just be baited out as well. No, he'll get the kill, but MarKE is more than ready to trade. The spacing is exemplary. He's a reck. He was lurking in the halls as he did in the matchup yesterday versus Wildcard. But he's now standing alone on an island versus 3. And the player on Catwalk will do him in. It's MarKE at range to get that kill. 3 survive for Nouns. 6-3 is the score, and they isolate that pair of victories for M80 now. And M80, they haven't built up much money. They're going to invest, but it's going to be all the way down to the bone. They're going to have nothing left after this one.
Meanwhile, Nouns have an opportunity to grow their cash. They're still not in great shape economically. They're in recovery period right now, rebuilding their finances. So it's a tenuous situation for both teams. But it still does favor Nouns, especially as they can win the half with a round here. Having to close it out on the T side won't exactly be the easiest situation for them, though. The pistol round would go a long way to bolstering that, but we still have a few more rounds to go before we get that far ahead. Utility still decently plentiful for M80 as we get to the tail end of this round. Time dwindling down towards the minute mark at 1:15. No real move made. Now the smokes fly in. Counter molly from Carson to stall. Junior goes down first to Swisher, though. And now there's open space to be exploited by the T side, pushing on through. The sandwich player, George, is going to be tested. Do they clear him out well, though? No, they don't. Def's going to go down. Now they know where George is, but he's able to slide out at least a little bit longer before Malbs can put him down as Carson sits around the smoke on bench. Doubles down for one more before Swisher can restore sanity into a 2v2. Good nade damage, but not enough from CJ, leaving MarKE in the clutch. Against Swisher and reck, and Swisher flawless on his first 3 kills. Gets that down. Reck and Swisher compete together. And MarKE only has to deal with a low HP reck now. This is very winnable for MarKE. And I do like the reposition from reck, but MarKE seems to have read this.
He knows he's still on site. Going to cross, gets some damage in, but can't get the second bullet to follow up. Reck is the one to emerge victorious with the headshot. M80 skate by the narrowest of margins towards their 4th round in this first half. Only 2 rounds remaining, and they could theoretically tie it up, especially given the paltry economy that now remains for this defensive side. Now it's likely on a full save heading into round number 11. M80 win this one cleanly, upgrade those Galils in the final round of the first half. Go from there. It'll be a tied ball game at 6 apiece. A very good opportunity for them to come back into it. It was a rather terrible start, all things considered.
Things getting a little bit better here for M80. 6-6 half would be very good. One lined up by Malbs. Trade is there from Carson. He can't upgrade, however, and that puts him in a rock and a hard place situation. How does he got the second onto Def? That's a little, or not onto Def, but onto Stamina. Def got taken down very low, put down in the end. So Swisher and reck again in this situation, post-plant down. That's a nice return lineup for reck there as they walk into him. It's all down to Junior, who mops up the mess. A force, not even a force buy, Nate.
That's a save.
That's just pistols.
It's an upset victory.
It starts with a 2K.
Snowballs from there. You got to be very careful against the pistols. Not sure how Nouns negotiate that, how they upset M80 like that, but here we are. And M80 now are the ones at the short end of the economic stick now. No reason to save. You have to buy Deagles for Malbs and Stamina, Galils for reck and Def. Swisher Armor Galil is the call, but you could have gone for Armor Deagle with some utility. Nouns looking well poised to have a dominant 8-4 scoreline now after a massive upset in round number 11.
That's an incredible upset in round number 11. Just walking in onto A, Carson wins 2 duels straight up, damage done on to a third. And now he's going to take that momentum and scale up towards middle, takes down 1, looks for more. Malb's down to under half HP thanks to the nade and the shot. M80 looks scared. They look so afraid. Unable to leave the safety of top mid. The damage is done.
Try to do something. They were looking for that aggression. We've seen the aggression multiple times from Nouns. Won't come through this time around. They are happy resting with a hefty economic advantage in this round. And MarKE aggressing off the contact, finds 2. Junior won't have success towards B, but Swisher still has his work cut out from the upgrade to an op. He'll try to find something. His teammate falls. It's now a 1 versus 4 ace clutch attempt from the gunner. Sure, he's been the star for his team in this first half, but with no bomb, little time, and 3 adversaries, it seems near impossible. Smoke goes in towards MarKE. He's missing, failing the skill jump, finally hits it, but this flank should do him in. He knows it's a possibility, but timing is everything. MarKE swinging, finds the tap. 8-4 dominant half for Nouns. We'll see you after the break. Nouns translate what could have been a 6-6 half into an 8-4 dominant performance off the back of an eco victory in round number 11. It's Pineapple Phillips and Boggs to bring you the action. M80 now on the quote-unquote easier side of Mirage, the CT side of Mirage, but they have their work cut out for them. They need to come back into this one. If they lose the pistol, it might be just what breaks the CT side. Be 9-4, likely 10-4 from there, and seems like too much of a comeback to mount. Swisher, top balk, mollied forward, tries to find the opening. There's a boatload of damage to 2, but finds no actual kills in the round. Reck gushed at range by George. M80 being slowly pieced apart. Stamina will find one. Carson, though, a trade onto the very same. 4v3, Malbs in window. The Pistol King, good for 1. It's back and forth, anybody's round. 3 versus 3 is Carson pressuring CT, finds yet another. The IGL doubling down. The bomb will hit dirt as a result. Mobs eking out of jungle. There's a teammate in tow, tries to spot one. Will get the player connector. That's a big one to find. Back to even footing. There's no kit in play for the CT side. They need to make the retake quick and convincing.
Junior and Carson in good defensible positions. That's a crispy shot from Junior. Carson still yet to swing from CT, and he's been a menace this entire game. So as Junior, who runs around and rings Malb's bell. 9-4, both pistol rounds converted for Nouns. And that is where the boat starts to sink for M80. Their one chance now is a round win with the force buy. If they don't win it, it's 10-4 and no money for the CTs. 11-4, almost insured. And from then on, a very explosive and offensive-oriented Nouns can take this one away very quickly. It was between Inferno and Mirage for M80. They picked into Mirage. Maybe to their detriment, we'll see. Malb's already taking much of that damage out middle from a long-range MAC-10. Swisher needs a lineup here, or a headshot. He gets nothing but a tag. He's going to have to rely on his teammates for the bag, but I think the bag's going to go to Nouns here. They'll get the bomb down. MAC-10 in for the middle farm, and M80 might just be better served to save all their guns. That's exactly what they do. Try again in the next round, because this one is all but unrecoverable, and that's even worse.
It is. All trying to find it. Fares no better. Even worse, in fact. It's a player with Kevlar dispatched. M80 won a round like this yesterday versus Wildcard, but it was off the back of the scouts early on. We had what?
And Def with the no-scope headshot.
Yeah, it was 2 kills, or even 3, I think, in the round from the scouts earlier on, and then the no-scope headshot at the end for Flare. Bomb will go off. No issues there. 5 players will survive for Nouns. Again, a solid second round off the back of a pistol round victory.
Much like the first half.
I would say exactly like the first half. They go against a force spy and they win it with flying colors. They lost 1 player last half. They lost 0 this one. 10-4. Comms are clear for Nouns, and they have a very clear path to victory now. An 11th seems like a guarantee, barring a catastrophe. And there's only 2 before they get sent off to that second best of 1 in the evening.
Yeah, one more best of 1 between these two teams tonight. Nouns and M80 going at it here, but one team far and away above the other right now. M80 obliterated on every step. Only 2 rounds have been won in a row. The other 2 in isolation. Swisher anchoring B with a pair of dualies, takes a little bit of nade damage. Carson's clearing up catwalk. He will move on through, take out Swisher long range with the MAC-10. George almost falls to the dualies up close, but Malb's on rotation to MarKE has that till closed on him. Nade into MarKE, Stamina eats it. Def does get George, the 1 HP player, with the nade. But for now, everything's going the way of Nouns. A couple nice headshots there from MarKE and reck. The armor in the 5-7 will try and save. He'll walk out middle, and Junior will greet him with a swift shot to the brain. 11-4, a 7-round lead for Nouns. M80 on a bye, but this is their last stand. This is their Alamo, Nate. If they do not hold out here, they will not find victory on Mirage.
Could also be the optimal time to time out, perhaps. You have full M4s, you have good
Accurate.
utility, talk things out, come up with some sort of play that's out of the norm, because it seems like Nouns have read M80 quite well. They've been stratting out of their minds since the beginning of this map, so maybe trying to change things up for this CT side could help them out. But they're not going to go for that kind of timeout. They're going to instead rush into it. They have full A1Ss, good utility. They're going to have to rebuke a full A play now. Reck trying to jump up that smoke, bars his vision. Site control has been taken thanks to the utility dump from the T side.
Carson's taking a lot of damage. MarKE eats a boatload and he will fall. George goes down to death as well, who follows it up onto Carson too. No response at all from Nouns as M80 are making something of this one. Not a single kill from the T's. They got the bomb down. Sure, they have plenty of money, but a resounding reaction from M80. They don't call a timeout. They just play the retake. Def holds it off well from CT. Mulbs comes in and does what he does best. And M80 are not dead just yet. There's still some fire in them. It has not yet been quenched. But Junior has bought his optimal gun. And he wants to bring out the fire extinguisher.
It's a very solid map. Him and Carson, both.
Yeah.
CJ and MarKE have had their moments. MarKE looked really good. Some of those anti-ecos, for example, that last one. But Junior and Carson specifically, lights out performances. Carson, that double on the USP in round 11 comes to mind. He's had a fair few multi-kills to his name in this round, or in this map, excuse me. Up mid, Carson goes alone on Catwalk, trying to sow some chaos, but Mobs through the smoke is the one to do him in. The op now will take his stead. Not pressuring all the way up, but right now just towards Delpan, top middle. It's going to be a B split of sorts. Junior, though, trying to distract up middle, finds Mobs. That won't deter Stamina, though, who finds an answer onto the B site take. Another from the back of sight. Just one left, and he's felled by Swisher. He's just Junior, the opper. You mentioned he had the op in hand, but he's very far removed from the situation. He's hoping that Reck goes for some sort of flank. Doesn't look like Reck will. He'll go in towards Palace instead. This will be a 6th round for M80, a chance for them to begin to stabilize and even come back into it given enough time.
It's a long road back in, but it shrinks with every recurring round they're able to put on the board. It's already 2 out of 7, so it doesn't really quite break down into a nicer fraction than 2 7ths, but they're getting close to the halfway point. And if Junior can save the op, that'll be nice for Nouns into the next round. I mean, he was the only one to get a kill, so his op did work as intended. Making that a second kill is now they know where he is. The hunt might not be on, though, because M80 don't really want to lose anything that they have. Swisher tucks into ladder room. Def will also just hide in a corner. Junior will be safe. M80 up to 6. But I think now, Nate, it's Nouns' time for a timeout.
Should be. They'll have enough money to go for an investment, it appears. Carson and George might have to make some compromises. But they can scrounge something together, call a timeout, talk things out with the coach in Semphis. Figure out where to go from there. But no, we won't see one come through. We'll see an investment from MarKE. Yet to see something from either George or Carson.
I think they're going for a half buy.
Yeah. It's a little low for MarKE with $1,400 left. Same with CJ, but
I don't hate it.
no, especially if they get a bomb plant. If they get a bomb plant, it should be fine.
And maybe Junior can get a pick or two. Some rifles can be picked up. There's armor on Carson. There's no armor on George, but he still has a Tech 9. Use George as a human decoy to get the info. There's still some legs for this round to stand on for Nouns if they're able to accomplish their mission, but now the defense of M80 is really starting to solidify and become a little scary. You got guys like Stamina chiming in with some good multi-kill rounds. Swisher's been strong. Mobs is heating up again. A lot of it comes down to this initial duel with Mobs here, who will win that fight not clean. In fact, takes a lot of damage. But he gets out of there alive, and that's what matters. 5v4 to M80. MarKE fakes the window jump, drops on down, and down falls Malbs. The op from Stamina also spotted out towards A. CJ takes a tag. Swisher playing with fire, gets burned by Junior. Now the man advantage swings back to Nouns as they look to work the B site with Def as the lone player here. Low H play CJ, Def cannot control it. And so the opportunities are rising for Nouns to get map and series point. Here, Stamina falls, caught by rotation. MarKE lurking out of Murder Hole. And reck will probably just try and save again here as a 1v4. Not going to go his way 9 times out of 10.
It won't, but it feels like he's almost compelled to go for it. Yet at the same time, saving this weapon will be nice, especially an AK one-shot headshot. If he stays alive, Swisher can, I guess, drop a gun towards Stamina, or reck even can. I'm trying to think if they can get an op out of this. They can probably finagle an op if reck survives.
He
Reck will. Yeah, he will, I think, at this point. Unless this flank from MarKE is very quick, which I don't think it will be. He will live. 12-6, though. 6 rounds required from M80 to get to overtime. Seems like too much of an ask. 6 in a row. Be a fairy tale comeback.
Would be one for Song if they're able to do it. However, it might just see them end up in Valhalla instead. Malbs goes aggressive up towards middle. Some support utility for him, and he picks up Junior. That's a good start for M80. They cannot afford to lose any of these next 6 to take this to overtime and stay alive and match 1, best of 1-1. Bomb still top C. George waiting out Palace. He's had a very quiet performance.
Very quiet. Almost entirely absent.
He pretty much has been. It's like you don't really remember any of George's kills.
He's typically the support player, so it makes sense. He hasn't had to do much.
That is true.
With Junior and Carson firing on all cylinders as they have been. But with this disadvantage, what can Nouns do? They've just crossed that minute left on the round. Looks like mid is going to be the call. Perhaps a con play. I like the angle from Swisher, but it's expected or figured out by Carson quickly. It is traded. And Malbs, in fact, drops MarKE to double down in favor of M80. George and CJ are going to be slowly picked apart now. Yep, there's the first, and the second fares no better. George under balcony caught looking by reck. 7-12, the first of 6 required by M80 to get to overtime. And Nouns' economy's kind of all over the place. Carson and George are low, but everybody else can force. Looks like AKs will be dropped, and it will be an investment. I say AKs drop, but there might not be a drop. It might just be pistols for George and Carson.
Carson's only on a Glock, too. He has invested nothing but a smoke and a flashbang. George and Junior at $100 in the bank. Everyone else, $14.50 or above. Nice, well-placed nade. 49 damage taken from Junior as he will peek out. Spots reck on the cross. There's the opening pick for Nouns that they needed. CJ comes in for one more. George goes down. Swisher's been spotted, but Def has his back. Def cannot get more than one, though. And Swisher stuck in hell. He gets sent down by Carson, leaving Stamina on a 1v2 with the op in hand. Up towards CT. Junior has his op on Tetris. The bomb planted. Junior working around. Stamina catches Carson. Now it's the opper's fight. The bomb is planted for Junior, who gets spotted. Nade goes deep as Junior moves forward. Should have the AK in hand. Now it's his sidearm out. Stamina making noise, running in. Junior's got the knife in hand. The tap, the hold. Junior's not spraying or spamming. Pros don't fake, and neither does Stamina. He'll fall after time, but a necessary round to keep M80 alive on Mirage. Stolen away by the analyst as he calls Junior's bluff.
An awkward end to a chaotic round. Bluff called. Pros don't fake. A major clutch from the analyst to keep M80 alive. 8-12. Still 4 more rounds required. That bomb plant will allow Nouns to go for the investment once more. They have a Galil on MarKE, which is less than ideal, but still more than enough, all things considered. Junior, again, has that ever-threatening op. Swisher, though, the hero his team needs, opens things up from Catwalk. Reck under Balcony, though, will be tested. A lineup, he'll get one, he'll tag a second. Neither party finds the kill, rather. Instead, it's the support from Mobs to do MarKE in. And this round, far more disastrous for Nouns than the last. Far more catastrophic. Far more one-sided. CJ, Junior, try and find something in this round. Even a kill to leave their mark would be something at least. M80 congregated, grouped up to defend this bomb. It's going to take a heck of a lot more than one single kill to come back into it.
Stamina and CT knocks down CJ. Junior backs out a ladder, retreats. Safety of B. It's a long time to try and save, but M80's money does not really facilitate that kind of an aggressive hunt. 3 rounds not going to separate these two teams, Nate. Neither one has called a timeout yet. It's a soapbox that we kind of put away for a couple of seasons. It was nice. Might have to come back out again here pretty quickly.
It might. These are 2 veteran teams. Now, I can kind of see it for M80.
Yeah, because, I mean, they don't really have their full roster. Coach is in the server, and the analyst is in the server. It's a double whammy.
I mean, the only reason I can see a timeout is, Psycho being in the coach's seat, but I don't even think he is.
Yeah. Or even then, like, after Stamina got that clutch, like, all right, cool the comms, boys, because I'm sure they erupted after that one.
Yeah, that could be something they could do. And
we got a timeout!
See a timeout. There we go. The issue is it's on a safe.
Yes, that's your personal, that's your main soapbox, so the floor is yours, my friend.
There's no reason to call a timeout on a save unless you're going for something wacky and zany. You're not going to win a save round 9 times out of 10. I say that. Nouns have won a save round in this map, so,
But it was on CT's side.
But it was on CT's side where they come to you, not the other way around. And the Glocks are a lot less serviceable than the USP. So, I won't say it's impossible, but it does have an interesting timing. Maybe Semphis had something critical he wanted to add at a point like this. Maybe some major read, or maybe he just wanted them to switch it up. Go for a no-nonsense play towards B, perhaps. There's still 2 timeouts remaining and not a lot of map to play, at least not a lot of regulation to play. So, even if it is kind of squandered in my eyes, it still is justifiable.
They still have 2 left, too. So,
Exactly.
They could also call a timeout before the next round, or maybe Semphis just had something he wanted to say now that he needed to get off his chest and thought, well, there's no better time than the present. And so he went for it. Either way, their timeout was called. Stamina spots out the arm, dodges the flashbang, and retreats down the stairs as it's a flood from Palace onto the site. Reck will try to get one, gets helped out by Mobs, and so 2 kills go to the CT side. George picks up the M4, but he can't quite put down Mobs, who eventually drops the Glock of Carson, looking for more damage. The Swisher waits around the edge of the smoke. Headshot delivered from Swish. And so now 2 rounds stand between M80 and overtime. They'll be able to get buys up again for the rest of the troops as well. And for Nouns, they'll buy up once more. But it seems that they're having massive trouble putting the finishing touches on this one. It was quite a disparate scoreline, Nate, at 11-4.
It was what, 6 rounds required to get to overtime, and now it's only 2?
Yep.
Made it more than believable at this stage, M80. Nouns, rifles in hand yet again. No op this time for Junior. Couldn't quite afford it. And aggression middle is the call. Good flashes, a flurry of flashes. Carson finding both openings. Again, a lot of multi-kills from the IGL. And CJ up catwalk furthers it. Another found its death felled. stamina on the op. Lines up 2. That gives him a way back into it. Doesn't quite finish off the second, but he's done a good amount of damage. A third? No, not quite. He's low on HP. He lines him up. He finishes what he started. He knocks down 2, but it's not enough. His teammate fell in the meanwhile, and Nouns will emerge victorious 13-10. It took a minute to get across the line, but it's better late than overtime.
Better late than OT, or better late than never. It took them a while, but they were able to get back in. Nouns close it down, but it's Carson definitely head and shoulders bringing